So if you're gaining weight or you're not losing weight, it's because you're overeating the wrong things. So here's some symptoms of what this might look like for you. You think you're following the program and the plan and you're eating carbs, but mostly healthy carbs, but you're not losing weight and you might even be gaining. And you probably might think this is a problem with portion control. So you write things in the group like, I need to eat less, or I need to practice better portion control. But what happens when you try and eat less is you get too hungry. And then we go back to type 1 problem where you restrict your food and then you end up eating too much, right? See the pattern, see how it snowballs on itself. Now, 99% of the time, the issue here is that you're actually just eating the wrong things. And it's not so much about how much you're eating, but rather the quality of what you're mostly cooking and eating. And this often happens when ladies join the program who are lifelong cooks and they feel like they already know what to do and they're not following our actual recipes, but cooking their version of it. If you're an advanced member here and you've been cooking the homemade method recipes for a long time and you've learned how to adapt your own cooking and recipes to the homemade method style and you're losing weight and you're on track with your health and weight loss goals, then this probably doesn't apply to you. Then you're doing great. You've advanced to the next level. But if you're new here or if you've been around for a while and you're still not losing weight or you're gaining, then this could be your problem. If you answered mostly A's or B's, your problem is you're eating the wrong things. So the solution is very simple. I'm going to tell you some recommendations. So write in the chat, if this is you, if you relate with the things I just shared, the symptoms and the story, eat the wrong things in the chat. If you can, we're going to get to the stress eating in a minute, Hildy. So you can write me to a T, says Linda. So eat the wrong things. Yep, got it. Sharon, Joyce, Robina, awesome. Yes, definitely, says Joyce. So here's my recommendations for you. Keeping it super simple with just 3 recommendations per group. I see Talia, Cheryl, Gina. All right. And many of us fall sometimes into different groups. So tip number 1 is obvious. You've probably already got it. Follow the recipes. I know it's boring and time consuming for some of you who don't like cooking or who don't like following recipes. I know some of you love it. It depends and it's fine. But the end outcome of putting in this tiny bit of effort to follow the recipes is going to be so huge for you. And as I said a minute ago, once you've got it, once you've really got it, you can adapt it. You will become skillful and easeful at adapting the recipes and your classic meals to the homemade method way while you're still getting the results. But if you're not getting the results, that's the first port of call, is just get honest about following the recipes. And that's why I made the 21-day reset more prescriptive than life-changing cooking program, because some people need and like that structure. It's like, just tell me what to eat, or just follow the recipes and then you will get the results. So I hope that helps. Tip number 2, if you're in the eat the wrong things group, is I don't want to sound like a broken record, but really eat more veggies and dark leafy greens. Your rule of thumb should be, when in doubt, add more veggies. I promise you cannot go wrong with eating more veggies. One of my biggest breakthroughs with my own health and weight loss issues was when I remember so clearly sitting on a bench and seeing this guy who worked in the bicycle repair shop, who was one of those extremely fit, slender, and he was elderly, you know, he was older. I don't want to say elderly, but he was not, you know, under 50. He was definitely in his 60s or maybe even 70s, very slender, very fit. And I remember seeing him come out with this salad that was literally, must have been a 5 or 10 litre bucket of greens and vegetables. And this was back in my dieting days when I was still, you know, trying to exercise portion control and limit how many this and that and count this and that. And it was one of those moments where I looked at him and go, how can this really slender fit person be eating that much food? And this is a big secret to the weight loss solution, to the overeating solution that no one talks about enough, is that if you just nourish your body and satisfy yourself with big volumes of vegetables and dark leafy greens, and you make the effort to make them colorful and make them fresh and make them delicious, then you basically trick your body into being satisfied with that food. So Last tip for the eating the wrong foods group is, and this may be a hard truth for some people to hear, but be honest about what you're eating. And by that, I mean, be honest with yourself, and then don't beat yourself up about it, but just notice it. Because I do see a trend sometimes with the women who aren't losing weight, who come in the group, and sometimes they seek help, which is amazing. Sometimes they complain, sometimes they're frustrated, which I understand. But often when I dig beneath the surface and I ask the right questions, I uncover that there's a lot more than they're eating, than what they're sort of, not just than what they're sharing, but that they're even allowing themselves to notice. And so don't just count the good stuff you eat. Also count, and by count, I mean just notice it, be aware of it. Count all the little bits and pieces that sneak in. And our goal is to nourish and satisfy your body so much with the meals you eat that you don't need those bits and pieces anymore. They will start to fall away. And once you start to realize what you end up actually eating, you'll go, everything I'm eating practically is good.